Hello, my name is Dylan. My YouTube channel is Sarah G Bros, and today we are going to continue doing complex numbers. So this is going to be complex numbers 2. So we're going to do some parts again, but don't worry, these are not going to be there's not going to be like 40 parts. There's only 2 parts. So part 1 is a simple review. So let's just add a bullet point. That bullet point, now remember, there is no real number for the square root of 1. So it's an imaginary number, or the imaginary part. Okay? And so we can imply this, where vector -1 squared equals I squared. So whenever you see, remember this from last time, whenever you see -1 or I squared, so here we see I squared, turn that into a -1. But treat I, not I squared, but I as any other variable. So -1 is equal to I squared. But I is just a variable. So if you see my video from last week, which I recommend you see that, you remember problems that look like this. You remember? So how you do this, it doesn't matter what shape of the bracket, but you do that like that. Okay? This is a distribution problem. But so we treat I as any other variable. So how we'd solve this problem is we do, so this equals, now we'd separate the non-variables, the letter numbers from the numbers with letters. So we're gonna multiply 2 times 4, so 8 plus 20i plus 12i plus 15i squared. Okay? So basically, we're going to take this I squared, and this is going to go into this. So what it's going to be now is equals 8 plus 32i minus 15. Okay? And the answer to this is -7 plus 32i. Now, if you see my last video, this is called the A plus, it's proper to be, it's more professional to be negative or lowercase. That is A plus BI format. Now you might be wondering, why is this an A plus BI format? well, we have our A right here, plus our B, but the B is an I. It's an imaginary part, or imaginary number. And that's our format. So it's A plus B, I format. Okay? So, now, if you see my last video, you already know what this is, if you remember it. 2 plus 3i, 2 minus 3i. Now, if you haven't seen my last video, I would recommend you go watch that, or just follow along right here. But so, we'll just solve this as any other distribution problem. But excluding the negative, there's something else that's different about this one than this one. So this is going to be equal to 4, yeah. And then negative 6. I plus 6i. And then minus 9 I squared. So have you noticed what it is? Well, odds are you didn't, unless you've seen my previous video. These numbers right here cancel each other out. So, and then once we do the next step, we're going to be left with 4 plus 9, which then equals 13. But there's something else you can do about this. So, the professional answer is 13. But another way you can do it, this is less professional, but if you want to put it in A plus BI format, it would be 13 plus 0i. Both of these will work, but 13 is more professional. So, if you haven't seen my video, you know what this is called. If you haven't, then it's called a complex conjugate. Okay? So, just get a sheet of paper, and I'm going to teach you something, even if you have seen my other video, that you might not have known, unless you already know quite a bit on these. So, we're going to, so if you might remember my vector video, where we put it on a graph. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to put it on a graph. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be pretty equal. So now, let's say you have z sub 1, z1 equals 2 plus 5i. So, this is our x-coordinate. This is our y-coordinate. Now, if if you have guessed it, this is negative y coordinates, and this is negative x coordinates. Okay? So this one is x coordinate, and this one's y coordinate. Okay? So, with the vectors, we take 2 steps. That needs to be a little longer. I'm going to put the volume back up here. So that's 5. Okay? So, our arrow is going to be up here. Okay? So, let's try another one. Z2 2 plus 1i. Okay? So, it's going to be 1 and 2. Now, here's a useful trick, and I'm also going to teach you something different. So, we're going to do another one. Okay. And so this one is Z1, but we're going to draw a bar above that. And so what does that equal? Well, the bar means put in, take the complex conjugate. So complex conjugate of Z1 is 2 minus 5i. Okay? So, and here's the useful trick. Draw a point where the arrow needs to be, and just draw a line between the point and the center point. Okay? That's just a useful trick. So, I'm just going to ask you a little couple problems about this bar. So, what would be that? What would this equal? Well, it would be, the complex conjugate is basically you just flip the sign. So it's, okay? Now here's a difference. This is the same one. But here's a twist. Double bar. Now, the answer is actually 3 plus 4i. Because it's the complex conjugate of that, which is 3 minus 4i. And then it's the complex conjugate of that complex conjugate, which is 3 plus 4i. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you next time.